Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 at Takoradi.
Alright guys, 13 after 10. If you're in here for Yleaderboardseries, kindly drop a fire emoji on the Facebook stream for me and share it for your friends and family to also join in. Now, my honored guest on Yleaderboardseries this morning, the season finale, comes from an insurance background with over 15 years experience working for one of the leading insurance companies in Ghana and across the continent of Africa. Prior to his appointment as MD, he was the general manager in charge of operations at Holland Insurance Ghana Limited. His insurance career started with Metropolitan Insurance Company, now Hollard, and with hard work and dedication, he has risen through the ranks to become the managing director as we speak today. He is, an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Chartered Insurance Institute, ACII, UK, and also holds a BA, that's Bachelor's in Arts degree in Economics and Political Science from the University of Ghana. I relate. Mr. Daniel Boi Addo is the Managing Director, MD of Holland Insurance Ghana, and my guest for Yleaderboardseries this morning. Chairman, all right, so I love the colors once again. I like the fact that it's Hollardy.
Purple is our color. We love purple. Purple is the color that attracts.
Did I get a shirt coming in for me today?
There's a shirt for you.
There's a shirt for me.
And a lot of goodies, not only a shirt.
I like that. I'm much more interested in the goodies my listeners will be getting this morning. Unlike the other ones I've done, I want today's to be extraordinary. Let's start off with entertainment. Something people won't really expect us to talk about. When you're free, you're not busy working yourself through your busy schedule for Hollard and the other things you're involved in. What do you do for fun?
So I'm a very outgoing person.
Okay.
I like hanging out with friends, talking. I like music. I play a lot of reggae music.
Reggae music.
I think it's sets your mind at ease and it puts me in the right frame of work, frame of mind for a day's work.
Yeah.
So my way to work, I'll play some good reggae music on the way. So I listen to music. I do a lot of sports. I work out a lot. I play tennis. I run a lot. But as a leader, you can't lead from the back. And energy levels are important. You have to be involved. You can't be tired at 3 p.m. You should have enough energy to go the full day.
My DJ smiled because you said reggae. He's a reggae king out here in Ghana. He has a reggae show on YFM. Any reggae song.
I think I've listened to him.
Yes, DJ Ganj, that's him. And he plays tennis as well. At some point, he played for the national team.
He did?
Yes.
Okay.
And so when you mention tennis and then reggae, you want a space in his heart. Yeah. Special one for that. Mr. Daniel, let's talk about your growing up. Where did you grow up? Were you born in Ghana? How was growing up life for you? What kind of family setting did you grow up in?
So I was born in Ghana. I've lived my whole life in Ghana. Every now and then I've traveled for work mainly. I actually grew up in North Kaneshie and then Latibia Okoshi. So I think post Legon where we moved from there. Yeah. I come from a very hardworking and ambitious family, a simple family. I unfortunately I can't say I came from a very rich background, but I came from a family where we believed that everything is possible. That for everyone growing up, you needed dreams.
Yeah,
and you needed to work hard to achieve those dreams. My dad was a public servant, but brought us all of us up and gave us the best education money can buy. Money he didn't have, but he believed in education. So I grew up in that kind of setting where we all knew we had to work hard and then achieve our goals. Be proud of ourselves when all is over.
Growing up, what kind of career ambitions did you have? What did you want to become?
Funnily, at every point in my life, I wanted to be something else. But in all of that, insurance never came up.
Okay.
And it's funny because my mom had worked with an insurance company her whole life.
But how come you never thought of that?
That still surprises me. And my elder sister's first job was in insurance. She still is in insurance though. So you would have assumed that insurance would have come up the radar at a point, but it never did. But the truth is that most people who end up with insurance just stumble and fall into insurance
by chance.
By chance, yeah.
Okay.
In the about 90 staff at Hollard, not more than 10% read insurance as a course. So we all have varied background. French, mathematics, English, history. It's something you can learn on the job. So growing up, at certain points, I wanted to be a doctor,
lawyer,
a lawyer, architects,
Pilots.
You can imagine pilots, everything. I mean, the final one when I was leaving Lagos, I wanted to be a banker, an investment banker.
Because of economics.
Yes, because I read economics.
Yeah.
And I thought, I mean, the investment bankers were flashy people, you know, big suits, big ties, big
Blue
bars.
ties,
Thank you.
white shirt, especially when they drive through the Hacho side and come through, and then you're standing at Legon Hall and you're looking at them like, yeah, I want to be like this.
That's me. He's living my dream.
And then you get on the field and you realize, no, plans need different.
It's not easy like that.
God actually has different plans for you. Let's trace your path through education. Which schools made you who you are today, if you're asked? Which school made Mr. Daniel who he is today? Who you are today, and what sort of family support system did you benefit from throughout your education journey while you were in school, GHS, this, that? Who was guiding you through the path? What happened?
So I wrote my common entrance in 1987 at Prince of Peace International School. Is a school in Boi Addo. She's still there.
That's the same school.
You are joking.
Yeah. I think that should be your brother from today.
At Boi Addo. So I still drive back by the school.
And that's why I live.
Ogo Road.
Yeah, I live around Big Boss.
Okay, cool. I actually been there for several years. You know, so and then from there I went to Accra Academy. I mean, Accra Academy was really not a big decision. It was like a family school then. My dad was in Accra, my brother was in Accra, so naturally, I mean, it was where I aspired to go to school, and it's a decision I've never regretted. I mean, the Accra student is what you see is what you get. There are no surprises. There's no pretense. Original guys. So till now, some of my best friends are friends I kept way back from Accra Academy. I learned to be determined in life. I learned to be able to manage yourself and to teach yourself in that school. In terms of family, I mean, I've always had the support from nuclear family, extended family. There have always been people who would call you and advise you. You know, growing up, there's a lot of advice, whether you wanted it or not. Everyone thought it was their job to advise.
It just came with it.
It came with it, yeah. And I did listen around. I mean, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. But I think the most profound advice I got was, at that age, just concentrate and get good grades. Once you are out of school, whether as a lawyer, whether as a banker, I mean, those things will fall into place. But the first thing is to be dedicated, to be disciplined.
Discipline, yeah.
And just get good grades.
Did you look up to anybody in particular growing up? I mean, you had your career ambitions, you had support from the nuclear family, you went through school, but did you look up to one person and you know, always said, okay, I want to really be like this person? Mom, dad, family?
So I mean, all my heroes, all my role models have come from my family.
Okay.
I looked up a lot to my brother while I was growing up. I mean, he was the first born, and he set good examples for us, you know. So every time I was tempted to go off, you looked at how he was going and you said, no, I mean, I want to follow his footsteps. Until today, I still look up to him. I still look up to him today.
You after senior high school, you went straight to Legon to study. I did economics, political science as well, and my decision to study that was pretty much influenced by my family. Did you have any such experience? Was it something you picked yourself? If you did, what was the inspiration?
So I think economics, because then, as I said earlier, I wanted to end up in banking, and I thought it gave me a broader capital base to enter the business disciplines. So if you read economics, you will feel at home, whether it's banking, whether it's investment, whether it's insurance. I mean, you feel comfortable with the figures, and you fit into a lot of places, as opposed to doing an accounting or something else where you can only do
you get yourself boxed
there. So that's why I chose economics. Political science, I've always been a very political person. I like to read what is going on around the world, what's going on in Ghana, have my opinions, and that's why
debate here and there around it. This should be done this way.
But as Ghanaians, we all have opinions.
Yeah, definitely. And we all have a stake in how the cake is baked.
Exactly.
The national cake.
Exactly. Rightly so.
How it's built.
Right.
How were your days in Legon like? Tell me about it. Fond memories.
So I'll be honest. I mean, if I attempt to lie, someone will call me out. I wasn't the best person in the class.
Okay.
I wasn't the most disciplined person in the hall. You know, but I did enough to get by. I mean, I always knew why I was in school. And I tried to do what I had to do. Of course, Legon was a big surprise for me. The kind of freedom you are exposed to. You know, for someone who had come from a family where I had a very tough dad who made sure you did what you had to do. Waking up one morning and realize that I don't have to go to lectures if I don't want to.
You can choose what.
Yeah.
You don't have to go cleaning.
I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to clean. Someone cleans for you. You know, it was a big one for me. And what Legon taught me was self-discipline and then self-management. Because then you should know when you say no to the guys, actually, today I can't go to JCR. Or this morning I have to go to lectures. I mean, you need to have your own routines. After every lecture period, I think a lecture period was 3 hours then, if I remember. You need to do another 3 hours of research just to make sure you are ready. So Legon taught me a lot of discipline in the face of all that freedom. And a lot of people I know couldn't manage that freedom and had issues later in life. It taught me how to manage myself. That there would come a time in your life, like now.
You're responsible for yourself, pretty much.
When you don't answer to anyone, then what? You know, so that was what I learned from Legon. With regards to social life, I had a hectic one. I mean,
tell me about it. Tell me more about it.
I did have a hectic. I mean, I like to hang out. I like friends.
And the course is not easy.
And
political science is a lot of books.
So it's about setting up your day in a way that allows you to have time for each of the things you love. So when I left my room for lectures, by the time I come back, I've done my 3-hour lecture in political science, passed through the BAM library, read another 2 or 3 hours. Then I know I'm ready for any question. Then when I come back and I take a shower, then I know I'm going to do the other things, other extracurricular activities. But in all of this, I never lost track of the primary reason, being that I had to learn. Another reason, you know, I actually wrote my A-level twice.
Why?
Because the first time I wrote A-level, I didn't get all the passes. And it was one of the most difficult times in my life, you know, to see everyone you used to hang out with go out,
move forward,
And even when you visited them on campus, realized you didn't fit in. They'd made new friends.
They spoke about things you didn't understand.
Exactly. When they came home, they still made new friends. You know. So when I got in, I knew I couldn't have messed up again. That's one. And again, I decided that whatever opportunity I get, I'll take it as if it's the only opportunity I'll have. There won't be a second chance.
And I think that is one of the things that stays with you forever. As a man, a woman, I mean a human being, once you make that decision to treat every single opportunity as though it's your last, it carries you through. So every single chance that you have,
you hit it.
No matter how small the chances, you hit it with all your strength, and then you get the most positive outcome, you know, out of that.
Because I mean, you know, most of people I know didn't get a second chance at A-level. I mean, the first chance was really the best one they had, and if you messed it up.
And I'm sure the other ones who didn't get it also just gave up and found something else with it. But you were focused on getting it right, and the failure you faced motivated you to do extra with a second chance.
It did.
After uni, you did your national service, of course. What was your first opportunity at work? Which job?
So after Legon, I actually was home for almost a year looking for a job. Then I still wanted to be a banker.
Okay.
I remember around the same time I did.
You wanted to wear a suit.
The suit was important for me then. I did 2 interviews around the same time. One with the then commercial bank, and then one with the Metropolitan Insurance, which transitioned into Hollard Insurance. I think a week after the interviews, I got a call from Metropolitan that I had a job. That was it.
That was it for you.
18 years ago. And like I said, it was I didn't. Most people don't plan to end up in insurance. I just got in, fell in love, and I've never had a reason or even discussed leaving.
Do you remember your first salary?
I think it was about 2.3 million. Then that's about 230 cedis now. But that's 18 years ago.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it was too much.
Yeah, it was too much for you.
No, it was the first time I was making, I was spending money I'd made myself. And it's always different. You know, when you have to go to the old man for money, you are careful. But this is money that came into my own account at a point, and I realized
you had to sweat for it.
I mean, this is the sweat of my labor. So spending it was was even more fun. Even though it wasn't much then.
I've had conversations with different people on this particular question I'm about to ask you. Bridging the gap between academia and then the world of work. How smooth was this transition for you? I mean, you applied to 2 companies. You had had a beautiful time in school, studied, got your grades, got your certificate, you applied for work, did your national service, and then that. Prior to that, you had no huge work experience whatsoever. So this was your first time at getting a 9-to-5 job. How easy was the transition for you? Did you have to really struggle with a lot? Was it easy moving the things you learned in the books into the workspace? Did you have a tough time settling in?
Yes and no. I mean, I had read economics. It had nothing to do with insurance. So yes, in terms of the core expectation, it was a bit of a struggle. I mean, I didn't know anything about insurance. It took me a while to learn theoretically, and then to be able to come up with ideas. So yes, but again, having to sit in one chair for 8 hours was different. I mean, even in school, we didn't have to sit for 9 hours. So that was also different, and it was difficult adjusting to it. But aside that, I think school had given us the capital to be able to understand a lot of things and to work. I mean, in those days, there were people prepared to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, most companies had a certain training program. I mean, nowadays I hear a lot of companies say that the current graduates are not up to scratch.
Yeah,
and don't fit
half-baked.
I really do not necessarily agree with that.
I think there should be a form of training,
Exactly.
mold them into the shape you want them. Yeah.
I mean, a degree is a degree. I mean, the standards might have dropped a bit, but what is your training culture?
Yeah.
You can't employ. In the past, when I was employed, I mean, for a month, you won't touch a computer or
you're getting
a file.
trained. Yes.
You'll be trained.
Yes. Observe.
You go and bring the file.
Yes.
Someone tell you this is what this request means. This is what you do. A, B, C, D. Today we employ them on a Wednesday, and by Monday you go on a laptop, they fire. You understand? And then if they don't deliver, then we come back and say the quality has fallen. Yes, that it's possible the quality might have fallen, but I mean, once the person has gone through secondary school and then university, the person is teachable. Let's, as corporates, let's have the time to
very
teach
important.
them, the ones coming.
I think this is a topic we should, have for another conversation.
Yeah.
Very, very important. The fact that
I agree with you.
Corporate companies, corporate Ghana should spend a little bit more, funds, time in changing the training culture. Okay, we shouldn't expect so much from. You mean you employ somebody?
They are from school.
Exactly.
How much do you expect?
Help them transition from the world of studying and then the world of work. Two different worlds.
I'll tell you what. When we joined Metropolitan in those days, we were even taught how to respond to emails, how to pick the phone. So anybody met Train, when he picks the phone, he mentions his name. So today, even though I'm managing director, when I pick the phone, I say Daniel.
Yeah.
So nothing was taken for
That's
granted.
true.
We were taught everything. Let's go back. Let's have time. We know money has become important. Like, you don't have time to train, but let's spend a bit of time. Let's mentor the next generation because we won't be there always.
Let's not give up on them.
No, we won't be there always. And if we don't take our time to teach them and then mentor them well, when we are gone or when we retire, we will look back and say we didn't do a good job.
That's true. Very, very important. Now, as general manager in charge of operations at Hollard, Ghana, that used to be your former position. What were some of the major milestones you chalked and impacted on you and your team? Of course, I know for sure once you've mentioned this, training culture is a part of the milestones, but beyond that, what other things?
At the time I assumed that role, I mean, the company has struggled for growth for a while. I mean, we had been growing at 6%, 8% for almost a 2 or 3 year period, There were various reasons for that. I mean, client-facing reasons, back-office reasons, all sorts of reasons. What I did was to set up the back office in a way that made them very responsive, and also give everyone a market-facing role. Because I mean, if there's no business coming in, what are you doing back office? So we changed a lot of the structure of the company to make it more market-facing. More people going out, more people, even though sitting at the back office, engaging with clients. And it showed, I mean, within a year or two, started growing aggressively. Currently, we are doing almost 25% growth in revenue year on year. And I think we are slowly getting where we want to be.
Now, when I read your bio in the beginning, it said that you rose through the ranks. The position, help us understand the transition in the position. So first
I joined as an underwriting officer.
Underwriting officer.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
So I mean that would be issuing new policies, endorsing, changing, making changes to policies. These are simple motor policies or home fire policies. Then after a while, I work at the front desk. So the front desk is
you have to deal with the
working
customers.
clients. Working clients. I did a bit of front desk, and then I ended up at the reinsurance section. So when insurance writes business, we reinsure, or we also insure part of the business, just to limit our exposure. Because I mean, you have clients whose capital or whose assets are 10 times yours. So if there's a fire there, you don't even have the money. They will sell the whole of the company and will still come pay. So when we write business, we reinsure a part to bigger insurance companies. We call reinsurance companies. So I ended up there, and I would say that was a turning point in my career, because that function was called reinsurance and reporting. So I started doing the numbers there. I mean, it was difficult. I mean, it's if I'll be honest with you, there were certain times in my life where I worked 6 days a week. Because at 8 a.m. on Monday, management expected the Monday reports. The Monday reports captured what was done the previous week. Everyone closed at 5. Everyone came at 8. But everyone expected the report to be ready at 8. I don't know how or when they thought I was doing the reports.
How you were doing it?
But that question was never asked anyway. So every Saturday, I needed to find time to come to the office. And those the systems were not as sharp as they are now. So a lot of the work was manual. So I'd come in every Saturday or Sunday or stay Friday after work just to write the report. But I learned a lot of what I know now looking at those numbers, because that really was, I kind of analyzed what was going on in the company then. Are we making enough money? Are we leaking too much premium in reinsurance? Are we paying too much claims? That kind of thing. So the time I spent in that function really broadened my horizon. It opened up my mind. So some of the things I do now, people will say, you understand the figures. I say, yes, because I've worked the figures before. If you bring me a report and something is not right,
you can work it out.
Once I look at the report, I know something is not right. Because if you add column 3 and 4, you should get 6. So if I do my testing and I realize you are trying to play games, I know.
I like that. In your delivery on this particular question I asked, I heard you say a lot of we. You're managing director now. How do you, well, from the past, transcending through now, how did you set your organization up? How do you mobilize your workers to buy into your understanding, or buy into understanding your system of work, how you want to implement changes, the kind of things that you want to improve upon? How do you move your team to understand how you want things done?
So I mean, the main job of the leader or the MD is to set a vision. And you should be able to get buy-in into that vision, depending on how you've led the people. If it's on trust, it's on integrity, people might not necessarily agree with you, but people know this is the leader, this is his vision.
This is what he stands for.
This is what he stands for. As victories come along the way, it makes people even more convinced that you know where you are taking them. You can't be a leader without a clear vision. You're leading today, but you are leading for the future. You should be able to create the future. You understand? You can't work in 2022 and 1st January say, yeah, we are in a new year. What do we do?
You plan.
By now, you should be creating 2022. Where are you going to get the business from to make your target? Where are you going to get your next big client from? How is there need to set up the organogram in a different way? How do you affect society to be able to create the next what's the name, the plan? If you sit and expect that the future will come, yes, the future will come, but you won't have a place in that future if you
meet you unprepared.
If you haven't created. Luckily for me, a lot of the people I work with now, and I've worked with for a while. I mean, I've been around 18 years. A lot of the people in the ESCO have been around maybe 5-10 years. So we've worked well, and these are people I flow with I can be not a difficult person, but when I call you on a Sunday even at 8, I expect that you will pick the phone and give me an answer. I won't ask you not to go to church on a Sunday morning. Yeah. But if I send you a text and you are in church, just tell me I'm in church. After church, I expect that you
business will continue.
Yeah. So once you understand that it's all for the benefit of a day's job, we're cool. So the team is good. If I say we because however far I've come, I couldn't have done it alone. There are too many people behind the scene making sure that for example, this morning I just walked in here and I'm talking, but there are people
put the work
behind
together
me who've done the work.
My boss over here. We'll talk about her later.
Who've done the work? So it's we. It's we.
I like that teamwork.
Teamwork. Any manager who thinks it's him has it wrong from day one.
Has failed since day one.
Yeah.
All right. In all your years working in insurance, what would you describe as that one thing that has kept you motivated to succeed? Money?
Money is important, but not necessarily money. Have you seen the look on the face of a client when you pay their claim before? It's priceless. It's priceless. You tell yourself that you've impacted a life. A life will go on because of the work that you do. When a factory is gutted by fire and then you give them that check, you know that business will go on. Families will earn a living because of the work you do. It's a powerful motivation to wake up every morning and send you to work. Money will come as you do this.
Yeah.
It's secondary. Money will come. Money should always come after hard work.
I think that should even just be the reward. It comes.
Yeah.
So long as you put in the hard work, money will definitely come.
It will come.
But the impact you're having, impact your work is having on society, individuals,
it's
immense.
Yeah.
All right. What other vital lessons have you learned in your insurance journey about people, about jobs, about Ghana? Things you like to pass on to younger ones, people who aspire to get into the field. My listeners, all of us.
I think everyone should have their own dream for the young ones, where you want to go. Once you join a company, you should have a dream. Where do you want to go? Every now and then that dream would not align with the company's dream for you. Then you have a conversation. Sometimes it would end that you have to leave. But don't assume it's someone's responsibility to set a dream for you or to plan a future for you. Someone might have to give you the opportunity, but when the opportunity comes, you should have prepared yourself in a way that you can access the opportunity. I hear a lot of people walk around and say, and we finish school and there are no jobs. But what have you been doing the 2 years you've been home? Are you polishing your selling skills? Are you polishing your presentation skills? The easiest job to get now are outward jobs, outward facing jobs, selling. Unfortunately, a lot of the young ones today fear to sell. But every company has become so client focused that once
you have to be selling
something, you have to sell something. It's a good place to start. So prepare yourself, because when that vacancy announcement comes, you are ready. There are other lessons I've learned. In a real world of work, for insurance, for example, empathy, integrity, extremely powerful words. Extremely powerful. When the person has experienced the loss, you need to empathize. Whether the loss is covered under the policy or not, you need to empathize. You can't be throwing responses back at the client. And integrity, what we sell is an intangible good. The promise we make, insurance is basically a promise that give me your money, and then when the fire or
I'll take care of you.
I'll take care of you. The quality or the premium on that promise depends on your integrity. And when we say, sometimes we use integrity, the word, and we say, it's one of our core values, integrity. The company can't have an integrity. It is the staff.
It's the staff, yeah.
You epitomize those values.
Yeah.
So if even in your private life you lack that, it will come back to haunt you. Because people will say, that man, I know him. He borrowed some money from somebody and they didn't pay. How can I go and insure with him? By that singular act, you've compromised the position of your company. So once we get a job, let's know that we are the company. We are the company. Our personality would define who the company is.
Wow. We'll talk a little bit more about, Holland Insurance. A few questions I personally have on insurance in Ghana and that. But you've mentioned so much on the things you've done with regards to work and that. But at what point did family come in? Your own family?
So I think I got married sometime. I was 35 then, if I remember.
Okay.
I mean, I'd been working for almost 10 years.
I'm really doing the math,
It was planned. I mean, for every man, it gets to a point where you need to find who God created with your rib when He took it out when you slept.
Your better half.
Your better half. So I found my good woman. I mean, we've had a good life. 3 kids, lovely kids. It wasn't really a big decision. I mean, I've always been that kind of person, I easily make relations. So it was something that would have come. I'm even surprised it took me that long.
That long, right?
Because 35, most of my friends had gotten married. I have friends who have kids who've left Legon.
Yeah, but you had plans, I mean, you had a different plan.
Yeah, but I'm not proud to say, but sometimes we should be able to balance the two, because they are both important.
Yeah.
Your personal life and then your work life, they are both important. You need to be able to balance it.
What? Now that you've mentioned balance, I mean, let me come to it. How do you balance your work life and your personal life? I mean, managing the family and managing Hollard.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
The demands or the requirements for executing my role as MD can be onerous, But you need to be deliberate about finding time for the family. If you think you would only hang out with the family when you are free, you will never be free. So you need to be deliberate.
Very important.
So what I'll do is that I try very much to be home by 6. So I can hang out with them for 2 hours every evening, do homework, find out what happened at school. Then when they are asleep at 8, I can continue my work later. As for my wife, I mean, we end up in the same bed, so we can catch up
later.
But you need to be deliberate on creating time. Luckily for us, I mean, COVID, the pandemic, though unfortunate, has kind of improved family life.
Yeah, it brought everybody together.
There were 3 weeks in our lives where we couldn't go anywhere. We had to hang out with our families. And now with working from home and flexi hours, I mean, I can leave home at 8 and start work at 9. So it means I can spend an hour with them in the house before they go.
Balance things. What kind of values, I mean, beyond COVID, all the things that has happened, your work life and that, what values you try to impart, to your children? And in your opinion, what stage must children be exposed to financial literacy? Very, very important. At what age should our children, the young ones, know about financial literacy?
I think for me, as early as you could possibly come. I mean, I bought my kids their first, they call it piggy bank. I mean, when Sika was 5, she had one. She's 12 now. She's always had one. I mean, so at the beginning of the year, you get a new, or we open it. I don't know. We open it.
Yeah.
Then we see how much money is in it. Then I top up. Then we put it in the savings for you. I mean, if you want some color pencils for Christmas, you want whatever. This year, Sika wants something that she can't buy with her money for Christmas. So when we get there, we will
look at the financial.
You need to explain to them that is how you accumulate wealth. You can't expect money from anywhere else. It's money that you have worked for. So I think very early in every child's life, the parents need to teach them to save. Unfortunately, our parents didn't do a very good job at that. Maybe it's because they didn't have much.
They didn't have it. Yeah, but now that we have been able to,
we've all moved into middle class. We should be able to teach our children to save. I mean, what values do I teach them? I mean, good old values: hard work, determination, integrity. Curiosity, humility. I mean, we disregard the power of curiosity. The reason why most of us, the older generation, struggle is because we didn't ask too many questions.
We're not allowed to even.
We're not allowed to ask questions.
How dare you?
How dare you? When your father is talking, you want to ask me a question. But now I encourage them to ask the questions.
Yes.
And my 6-year-old will ask you a question that you will think about it before you start answering. So curiosity and humility, like you said, and all those good old values. I mean, they never fall out of time.
What has I need just one. What is the biggest lesson being a dad and a family man has taught you?
Being a dad. Fatherhood is not a popularity contest.
Yeah. That's deep. I think we should frame that one,
fatherhood is not a
It's
popularity
not
contest.
a popularity contest.
When fathers see being a father as a popularity contest, then we have kids who are not disciplined and who grow up to be challenges or burdens to the society. In our father's time, they overplayed that card. We are trying to balance being the friend to the to the kids and being a father, but don't necessarily attempt to be the child's greatest friend, or not. Maybe that's not the way to. Don't try to shirk your responsibility as your father in the face of discipline at home, just so that you don't incur the displeasure of your children. They are children. They have to be brought up in a certain way. As an adult, it's your responsibility to do that.
You're shaping their lives.
Shape their lives and do it whatever way it takes. That's what I mean by fatherhood is not a popularity contest. You are not fighting with anyone to be popular with their kids. Of course, the other side is if you don't do it well, then we have fathers who are 70 and who have visitors in the lives of their children because they overdid.
Yeah.
They overplayed that card.
Wow, very important. Thank you. 12 more minutes to ahead 11. Y107.9 from Yleaderboardseries. 0202222073 on Twitter. The conversation is buzzing with the hashtag Yleaderboardseries. Managing Director of Hollard Insurance is here with us. And it's getting interesting and fun. I love his opinions, by the way, I have to say. I want to find out from you at this point, okay? Before we dive deep into the insurance talk, why are Ghanaians afraid of insurance? Per your experience, you've been in there for 18 years. Especially the adults. As soon as you mention insurance, you've been with a lot of customers, clients. You've spoken to a lot of them. Why are they afraid of insurance? Because I know it's not a bad thing.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions around this piece. So yes, I would agree that in the past, maybe a few people might have had challenges making claims. But what we all need to know is that the industry has moved from what it was 20, 30 years ago. Now we have a very vibrant regulator.
It's grown.
And it has grown. Then when I joined insurance, there were just about 10 companies. There are now 28 of us. So even in terms of the marketing function, you can't refuse to pay claims, because the best form of marketing is word of mouth. You know, the excited clients whose claims were paid can't go and discuss you. But back to the question of why people distrust insurance, I think too many people do not understand what the insurance promise is. And I'm trying to pick my words very carefully. So
Yeah. I get it.
There's a policy that regulates the engagement between the insured and the insurer. That policy specifically says under what conditions we will pay for a loss and at what condition we will not pay. It's not necessarily CSR insurance. We are running a business with private shareholder funds. At the end of every year, just like any bank or any company, I also have to go and tell my shareholders, this is how much I made with your money. We run our separate CSR projects where we attempt to affect society through those initiatives. But on the core business, what is insured cannot be in doubt because there's a policy that defines the engagement. Two things. Maybe as insurers, we have not done too well educating people on what they buy. Yes, I agree with that. But again, too many people do not have the time to even listen. Too many people will send their driver or their little brother or go and buy insurance for me. They go and say, oh, what is the cheapest third party? They buy third party. Some will not even ask you, what does a third party policy cover? For you to explain that it doesn't cover your car. So there's an accident, he comes and he sees about an accident. Then he say, no, we are only responsible for the other person that you hit. Then we have a bad name. So in as much as some of the challenges come from us because we haven't educated the policy well, I think the buying public also, they have to be more active in the process. Ask the questions. Ask, what are you selling to me? This is what I need.
Read about it.
I mean, it's not a big policy. The motor policy is just about 14 or 15 pages. If it's even a week, Just read a page and 2 pages a day and go through it. Make sure that you know exactly what you are covered against, so we don't get surprises when the loss events occurred. So I think the problem comes from here and it comes from there. And again, too many of the stories, when you go into them, you realize maybe they are not as truthful as they are suggested to be. I'll give you an example. I buy a car, or you buy a car, a Toyota Corolla, 10-year-old, a new Toyota Corolla, for 100 cedis. She buys it in the same car for 100 cedis. You insure yours for 100. She thinks she's smart and wants to cut premium, so insures hers for 50. When there's a total damage claim, there's no problem. You get your 100, she gets her 50. There's no problem. But if you both should lose a door or a headlamp or a side mirror, is it fair to pay all of you 2 cedis?
No.
So the insurance company, as the manager, so insurance is a pool. This is what we do. We create a pool, put all the life risk in the pool, and say for all the 2-year or 10-year-old Toyota Corollas, this is the premium you should pay. So if at the time of a loss you realize that you've both lost headlamps, but you insured at the correct value of 10, and she did a reduced value of 5, then we will say no. She wanted to cheat the pool. So at the time of paying the claim, we need to reduce her claim proportionate to how much she's insured her lamp for. Then people will say no, but I insured it for 100 for 50, and the lamp was only 2. So why didn't you pay me the 2? But when we do that, we are encouraging you to cheat the pool.
To cheat the pool, yes.
And as pool administrators, our job is to make sure that we bring equity in the whole process. So I mean, it can be technical, but it comes back to education. When we reduce your claim, what did we tell you? Did we just say this is how much we will pay, or we said this is why we are paying this much? So at next time, you know that you should insure the car at the market value.
All this is well explained. Thank you very much. I remember a while ago, boss, I think you side with this. We had, I think it was on my show, we had insurance tidbits on that. I'd be very glad, okay, since you are here, I wish this could be off air, but we can't. I hope we can get to a point where we can bring back the insurance tidbits, let people understand what they're buying into, because now people are conscious, okay? But what is the essence of being conscious when there's no information to pick from, you know? COVID has taught us that we can't always come out there and then, you know, find all the info. There was a lady on the app that we could talk to and all that. All these products, you know, are there, exactly. We should make the information a little bit more, you know, available to all of them, so we can learn from it, because there's a lot people can do. And as you said, people are sending their kid brothers and their colleagues to go and pick things they don't even understand. Now you find yourself in trouble, and then the company is not telling you what is.
This is what
the paper. And then the impression you have is, okay, this company is trying to, you know, throw dust in my eye. But the information is there for us. I mean, we have all the time in the world to learn about it. The information is readily available, but I mean, we've gotten to a point where I feel that people are not coming for the information, so we should give it to them.
Exactly.
Yes, we'll have a conversation, you know, after. But let's talk about, you know, Hollard Life now. I mean, tell us about your transition. You've been with them for a while. You were there when they transitioned from Metropolitan Insurance Company to Holland Insurance. Was there the need to make any big adjustments? If yes, what were the adjustments that were made?
So in terms of the core operations, underwriting philosophy, claim philosophy, to a large extent, there was no need to make changes. I mean, I guess Hollard International bought into Hollard Ghana because we aligned on most of our philosophies. Where we had to make massive changes was the culture.
Okay.
I mean, whilst Hollard International believed in was liberal, was flexible, and believed in diversity. Met then was very rule and policy based. This is how we did it. I mean, you this is how you should rest to work. You know that kind of typical.
I know.
So in the early days, it was a challenge because we had all been brought up to in that rigid, I mean, inflexible environment. So I'll give you an example. I mean, when the company decided that we would lose our tie. So currently, I mean, Hollard is one of the few companies in the market where you don't have to wear a tie.
You don't have to wear a tie.
It was so difficult. People for years will still come in the tie and suits, but they couldn't understand how an underwriter or how an insurance person will look or should come without. There are still people who still think
They don't
it's
understand
some
what-
way
yeah, exactly.
for an insurance person to come not wearing a tie. But really, what does a tie add? If you are back office, if you are client facing, then you need to meet a set. I'll give you an example. When I'm going out and I have to go and meet certain clients,
Yeah.
I wear a suit and a tie. If I have to go and meet a telco or I'm coming here, I lose my tie.
Yeah, you lose the tie.
Because again, if the person expects that you come in a tie, and the person will have to give you business, you need to be careful how you play that.
The tie is the determinant, you know.
You need to be careful how you play. But there are still people who think it's too liberal. But that's the difference between the Hollard culture and the Met culture. We're still learning. I wouldn't say we are there yet, but it's significantly different from. I mean, anybody who knew them old Mets 5 years ago, when they come around now, will be surprised.
I did a research and found out that the insurance sector is worth more than $6 billion in total assets. I mean, you being a technical person, how vital is the insurance sector to an economy? How important?
Extremely important.
Extremely.
In most of the discussions I've heard where people have tried to discuss our importance, they've understated the importance. Because they look at it from insurance penetration, see it is under 2% from the taxes we are paying and from the profits we are reporting. But you see, when you do that, you get it wrong. You need to look at it from the insurance promise. And what's the insurance promise? That we will reinstate you or we will pay you when a loss event occurs. For the year 2020, the industry paid 4.2 million Ghana cedis every day, average for the whole year. That's 1.5 million Ghana cedis a day for non-life insurance, and I think 2.7 million cedis a day for life insurance, making it 4.2 million cedis every day. And a total of almost 1.6 billion cedis in claims for the year. Can you imagine what would have happened to all of those individuals and companies if there was no insurance to bring them back to where they were to continue lives? So that's how we need to evaluate our relevance, our importance to the society. From that promise, a lot of companies strive and go after their dreams with the security we provide. That if anything should go wrong, my insurance company is there. I mean, if there was no insurance, a lot of companies can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So again, we need to look at the security we provide corporate Ghana to go and chase their dreams, knowing that if anything should happen,
We have their back.
And that's how we should see our relevance.
Wow. What are the key indicators, okay? I mean, I know about Hollard, so for the sake of my listeners, I mean, the first-time listeners, what are the key indicators to look for when looking for the right insurance company to deal with? I know these things will definitely be things we should look out for.
Yeah.
So things that make Hollard special.
I think that the first thing I would say is, I mean, there's a new directive for all of us to capitalize by January. So at this point, it's important to make sure that the company you are choosing will be able to recapitalize. Because again, you don't want to ensure today and by next January they are not a growing entity. So you need to make sure the company has the capacity to recapitalize next year. And then again, make sure that the company is licensed. I mean, there are a few people parading as insurance companies. Every now and then you hear the regulator will shut down a company that is not licensed. So make sure the company is licensed and they have the capacity to recapitalize when the directive kicks in. Look, you need to investigate on the company history and reputation. Do they pay claims? You need to ask for reference.
Who has been paid?
Who has been asked for reference? Do you know anything about this company? I mean, word of mouth is always important. And if the company has a history of not paying claims, there's always someone who knows. So ask around. I mean, what's their track record when it comes to pay claims? Size is important when it comes to insurance.
It matters.
Willingness to pay and ability to pay are not the same. You can be willing to pay, but do you have the money to pay?
Do you have the money to pay? Yes.
So size is important. So check on how well they are doing. Are they making good money? What's the size of the company? Know about their claims paying philosophy. Are they liberal? Are they rigid? Will they throw the rule book at you? So look at all of those. The pricing philosophy. I mean, a lot of the times we look for the cheapest insurance, but unfortunately, when it comes to insurance, cheap is not always good, or cheap is not always the best. I mean, they are bigger indicators you need to look for rather than premium, because the premium is only a very insignificant part of the cover. It never commensurates with the level of risk you are bringing to the pool. So if you are insuring a $100,000 car and you are paying $800, I mean, an additional $1 or $2 that would differentiate the premium from a Hollard and a company B. A Hollard where you have strong security, and a company B where the security might not be as strong as this. It's just $100 or $200. Do you want to compromise that $100,000 investment over $100?
Yeah.
So you need to decide. But price, cheap is not always the best when it comes to insurance. And ease of doing business. In this COVID world, we all don't like going out too often. So if your company should be able to do business remotely, you should be able to sit in your home and buy any policy you want.
Get all the information. Beautiful. Now, apart from motor insurance, majority of the people in the informal sector are not really interested in insurance policies. I mean, beyond that, how is Hollard, working on changing this trend? What are we doing? Are we getting closer to the market women? Any plans?
The informal sector traditionally has always been, I don't want to say no go area, but a challenge for the financial sector. I mean, the banks, the insurance companies, because one, records are always a challenge. And for most of the work we do, we need, when the fire comes, we need the records. What was in the shop? I mean, if you don't have records, then what are we paying for?
What are we paying for? Yeah.
What we've tried to do, to solve this challenge, is to have a very simple shelf product where we are not asking too many questions. So the question we will ask you, or we'll ask the shop in Accra Mall, we are not asking those questions. We are just asking basic questions. How much stock do you have at any time? Say 30,000. We give you a policy that covers 30,000 for a declared premium. So we are not altering the premium because we are in Bulushi or because you are in airports. We are just saying,
this is it.
We are a simple person. We are a simple trader. We'll give you a simple policy. So simple 4-5 page policy covers your life, covers your property, assets,
motor,
fire and flood. Basic policy. And as we say, it's not underwritten. That means we are not necessarily going to be as thorough as we should be because we understand the challenges in that space. But while saying this, again, we should also encourage the people in that space to try to do things, in a more improved way than they've done it in the past, just so they can also access some of these financial services. Because if you don't have the right information, you can work and make money today, and then you retire, and there's no pension because you didn't even know about it, or you didn't make any plans, But once they put their books well and they ask the right questions, even for them in the informal sector, there are a lot of products that they can access.
All right, we'll get there. Now, I forgot to ask this earlier, okay? But I think Sankofa Engineer, what do you look out for when you're putting together a team? You told me the role of the team and all that, but what do you look out for before you put a team together for any project?
So the 3 C's.
Okay.
Competence. I mean, before we start the conversation, you should have the competence to do the work. So that is fundamental.
Are you able to do it?
Yeah, can you do it if I give you the work today? And that is aside all character and attitude, competence. Can you do the work? If the answer is yes, I look for compatibility.
Okay.
I've told you. I mean, if I call you on a Sunday at 3, don't tell me Sundays are yours. Don't call me on a Sunday. So competence, compatibility, and commitment. Do you want to be here? You can have staff who are there but who are not there. The kind of staff who come at 7:30, have breakfast at 7:45, put their laptop on at 8:30, and start work at 9. When other people have already worked an hour, these same workers will leave at 4:45. So you are here, but do you want to be here? So I look out for those 3 C's: competence, commitment, and how compatible I am with you.
All right. Nice. How do you, or where do you see the future of insurance, and how must insurance companies position themselves to stay relevant and solvent at the same time? The future of insurance, is it going to get better?
It will.
It will, right?
We haven't even really started. I'll be honest with you. I mean, only 30% of Ghanaians have an insurance policy. And this includes all sorts of very micro level products, which is done on the maize base. So I even think that number is overstated. If you are talking of real motor, fire, home, life policies, it should be less than that. So that should define the potential for you. It's massive. It's massive. What we need to do, as I've said before, is to educate the public some more, make them more comfortable to buy insurance products, give them a reason to trust what we are selling. A lot of our problems is because people just don't trust us. Give them a reason to trust us. And then with all of those apps coming up, those apps will sell insurance on a very broad-based basis. In the next 5 years, you won't recognize the face of insurance. I think the future is extremely bright. We just need to keep going the way we are going. But education, as I've said several times in the conversation, is prime. We need to give people a reason to take up insurance because it can be a lifesaver. I mean, for anyone who has made a claim before, you know what it means when at that time in your life the check comes.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, final question I want to ask on Hollard, all right? Why should we come to Hollard, or what sets Hollard apart from the other insurance companies?
Okay, so I want to talk about premium. Let's talk about claims.
Claims, okay.
We test the insurance promise when the claim comes or when the insured event materializes. That is where Hollard is different. Because we prefer to ask all our difficult questions at inception. So a lot of times we have brokers or we have agents and other people saying we are rigid. But once other people have quoted, other people have written a policy, we are still asking questions. It's because we want to ask the difficult questions before we issue the policy. Because when a loss event occurs, we intend to pay. So when the loss event occurs, it's easy to pay. I'm not going to ask you to go and bring this, go and bring that, and 2 years on, you are still bringing documents because I've asked for all the documents before the fire came. So our strength, or the reason why people should come to Hollard, is because we plan and we do pay claims. I mean, our philosophy when the loss event occurs is to find a reason in the policy to pay for that claim, as opposed to finding a reason why we shouldn't pay. I mean, there are times where the fire comes and first we pick the policy, why shouldn't I pay this claim? But the Hollard claim, I will pick the policy and say, why should I pay?
Why should I pay?
We are
two different questions.
Yes, we are empathetic to you at that point, and that's the most important thing.
All right, thank you so much, guys. You heard it yourselves. If you want redemption, it is Holland Insurance. I mean, I know them. I'm not saying this because it's here. You've heard it over time. If you want the best, if you want to insure your life, sure whatever you're in, go to them. They are ready to educate you. They're down to earth. That's the word I'll use for them. I mean, they're very, very close to you to explain why you need to insure your life. And then in the instance of any accident, just as he said, they want to find out why they should pay you, not why they should not pay you. You need to make the decision yourself, and then know this. Let me jump on our Facebook and acknowledge all our viewers. They done. I think he's watching from South Africa. Edward Akwando says, "Please, I'm Edward, Holland Insurance driver, watching live from my Facebook. My MD is Guy." Dede Akofo says, "Thank you, Mr. Boy, for sharing this with us. We love you." Dede Akofo dropped 5 emojis on there. Alexander Mensah Osei said, great words of wisdom. Sorry, you've made a good case for young graduates. Koko Uzwa J. Pem says, great impact from Mr. Addo to the young generations. I'm a testimony of his impact. Great to know. Alex Olate says, 2 things I'm taking away: teamwork, hard work before the cash. For me, this applies both in office and then at home. Thanks for sharing. Courage Kosi Ameibo says, champion MD. Evelyn Shishime says, fatherhood is not a popularity contest. Daniado MD, Holland Insurance. That's a beautiful quote. I said we're going to frame that one. I'll make sure it happens. Alexander Semens says, great interview by all standards. Nothing is missing from it. Sharp. Mr. Boy, let's find out from you. What, in your opinion, makes a good leader?
A good leader must have vision.
Okay.
You should create the future. I mean, I like to say that you should create the future. The future won't come on a silver platter. You should create it. As I said earlier, other than that, the future would come, and it won't have a place for you. So you should lead in for the future. For every leader, you should have your plans for the next 3 years well carved out. You should know what you're doing the next year, the following year.
You should have a plan.
You should have a plan. I mean, success doesn't come by by just wishing. So vision is important.
Okay, very, very important. In your opinion, how can young professionals balance the fulfillment of their personal goals and making a decent living? It's a question I come across all the time. How do I fulfill my personal goals as a human being? How do I make sure I balance that with making a decent living as well? Just so in the journey of me getting to my field or my goal with regards to my career, I don't end up being a liability to myself and my family.
So I think it still comes back to upbringing and what you believe in. If your values, if the values are solid, you never lose them in pursuit of a day's job. For all of us, there are things we would not do.
Yeah.
And if you have any such value, you should protect it. I mean, there are things we will compromise on.
Yeah.
In carrying out a day's job, and there are things we shouldn't compromise on. The decisions you make might be big ones. You might have to lose jobs over what you believe in. But if that is what you believe in, that is what you believe in. Because if you are not persistent, or if you're not consistent, that's the word.
That's the word, yeah.
And you change because Hollard wants you to do this. You move to enterprise, he wants you to do this. Then you lose yourself. You should be able to maintain what you believe in while still carrying out your day's job. It's important. That's why earlier I said it's important you have your own vision of what you want to be for yourself, not the company. You would have to engage the company to make sure the visions align. But if it gets to a point and they do not align, you need to take a decision.
You need to make a decision. That's where the toughness comes in.
Exactly.
Now, beyond your duties as MD of Holland Holland Insurance Ghana, are you involved in anything else? Any side business?
No,
apart from the family, because the family is also a business.
Not yet, but I have dreams of going into farming. I mean, my family always had farms, cocoa farms in the past, and I plan to go into farming one day. I mean, when I leave corporate Ghana at 60, I don't want to hang around doing.
You heard it first.
I don't want to hang around doing corporate stuff. I just want to be able to drive to the countryside, go to my farm.
Yeah, maybe it's for a purpose. Maybe, I mean, when you get into that field, you can finally spread the message of getting farmers to insure their farms as well, because that's a huge deficit on that side as well.
Exactly.
I mean, it's for a purpose.
I do a lot of work with the Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool, and we know we are struggling to sell. So there is a lot of work to be done in that area also.
Daniel, thank you so much for coming through, spending time with us. Finally, as we wrap up, what are your final words to the youth of Ghana? We're all listening.
I think we all need to be careful the decisions we take and the actions we carry out, because a lot of these decisions, the repercussions will stay with you for the rest of your life. Trust your instincts always. Make what is valuable important. Be patient and persistent. Luck comes from hard work, nothing else. I mean, you can have an opportunity, but if you haven't worked hard, you can't access the opportunity. And most importantly, eat healthy, work out, and be ready.
The workout is very, very important, guys. Make sure you stay safe, be healthy. If you don't have a healthy body, you can't carry a healthy mind. It won't work, and all your plans may just fall along the line. These are wise words from MD of Holland Insurance Ghana, Mr. Daniel Boi, and he's been my guest on Yleaderboardseries. I enjoyed every bit of it. I love the fact that things were extra precise today. You know, straight to the point. I picked a lot from it. I really appreciate it. I mean, on behalf of YFM Global Media Alliance, the youth of Ghana, we're grateful. Keep living the life. Keep setting a good example for a lot of us. For people in your field, other ones who are onlooking from other fields, we're grateful. I believe this has been a very powerful one. And, we'll find time, come through and visit you at work as well. Come and see how work goes around your side, and then so that when we come back here, we can spread the word together with it as well.
You're always invited.
Have a wonderful day, sir.
You too, sir.
All right, 19 after 11. Why I want to sum up on that? It's been a wonderful Yleaderboard series. Shout out going out to our sponsors, Carban Ghana, MTN Ghana, and of course, Casa Preco, Chocomalts. My name is Rev, and we're wrapping up with a beautiful song from Tiwa Savage. It's called Somebody's Son. A beautiful brand new song from Tiwa Savage. Make sure you enjoy it. Definitely spin it twice. If it's nice, we spin it twice. This is why 107.9 FM.
Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
Listen to YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 at Takoradi.